So, it's Tuesday, and I'm on my way to class. I'm doing well this week because I'm actually going to class on time, and I'm going to go to all my classes today, so that's good. Change from last week. The other day, someone that I follow on Tumblr posted this video that was a bunch of tips for dealing with some gender dysphoria. I think she had 12 different things that she mentioned, and a few of them I recognized as things that I did in my own life. A few of them were new to me. That video got me thinking about just some stuff that I've sort of been thinking about a lot lately. So what I wanted to do was a video, or was to talk a little bit about why doing some of these things is helpful. I think it just shows a little bit of the internal process of what's going on. So like a lot of those things that are helpful are just wearing girly socks, or sometimes I actually wear girl pants, and people don't really notice that much. It just kind of looks like I'm doing a different kind of style. I threw in all kinds of little feminine things in what I'm wearing, and those little things help. I know that I personally have a lot of this kind of ingrained self-hate, and I've talked about this before, but I believe that I picked it up from negative experiences growing up, negative feedback for acting like who I am, and so I learned to not do all of these things so that I wouldn't get made fun of, and I would get very angry with myself when I would do them because they got me made fun of and they made me not normal, and so I labeled them as bad and things that I shouldn't do. And I just built up this whole like unconscious entity in my mind that just kind of beats me down. It's so hard to get at some of those aspects of my personality that I have repressed. Everyone to a degree curbs their behavior towards their social group, and in some degree of that I think is appropriate. It's just part of, you know, a connected, interconnected society of people, that everybody, there's a little bit of give and take. But for a lot of trans people, there's a whole lot more give and a whole lot less take in those terms. And the reason that it can be helpful for us to just take those little, you know, we all, you know, these are all these like kind of little silly things, you know, like they're not core or central to our identity in most cases, but they are very helpful and they're very important. In a way, they represent all of these aspects of our personality, which we've been forced to set aside for everyone else's benefit. I think it's part of this reversal process where, you know, for me, I'm trying to value who I really am and value myself, get some confidence in myself, and stop destroying myself because I think it's going to help me get along with everybody else. I think that's why those little things can be really helpful and really important to the process, especially if you're in a situation where you can't fully transition. But even if you're not, it's still a good preparation. It's a good way to get going and start understanding. And I think that doing these things as well as having this understanding of what you're doing and why it's important, it can be helpful, especially when you have to talk about it to other people who just don't understand. And that's how a lot of people around me are. They're like, I just don't understand why you need to do these things. Like, it's not really an important part of who a person is. And I agree with some of those statements on like the micro level. Like, yes, this one individual behavior is not important to who I am, but these combinations of all these behaviors and desires are part of who I am. And there are also much more subtle and much more important aspects of my being that I've repressed that went right along with all of these other little things, and I can't just pick and choose when I'm trying to stop repressing myself. So I just kind of have to let it all out, and that's part of the process. That's the transition. So yeah, I hope there's some useful stuff in there for you.